All right, let's talk about something that for a lot of finance professionals can be a real source of stress, closing the fiscal year. We're going to dive into how, with the right mindset and the right tools, like Hinawi ERP, it doesn't have to be a nightmare. In fact, it can be simple, accurate, and believe it or not, pretty calm. Let's get into it.
So, let me ask you something. When you hear the phrase year-end closing, what's your gut reaction? Do you feel that little knot of pressure in your stomach? Thinking about the late nights, the complicated entries, and that frantic race to beat the deadline? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. It's hands down the most stressful time of the year for so many people.
But what if there was a totally different way to do it? Over on the left, you've got the old school traditional way. A whole lot of manual work, stressful posting, and this massive pileup of tasks you've been putting off. But then, on the right, you see the Hinawi ERP way. We're talking a simple, automated process that gives you accurate results and, this is the big one, complete peace of mind. So how on earth do they pull that off?
Well, it all boils down to a fundamental shift in how you think about the work. The entire system, its whole architecture, is built on this one core idea, a philosophy of continuous, steady work all year long.
This quote right here really says it all. Correct work is done throughout the year, not on the last day of it. That's the whole game plan. It means year-end isn't some crazy, chaotic event you have to brace for. Instead, it's just the natural, expected result of a process you've been managing all along.
So what does that actually look like day to day? It means you can say goodbye to saving all those complicated jobs for the last week of the year. Things like calculating your provisions, spreading out prepaid expenses, or handling asset depreciation. All of that is managed on a monthly basis. The system is just designed to keep things current, always. And the payoff for this continuous approach is, well, it's exactly what you'd want it to be. You get no nasty surprises popping up at the last minute. There's no giant backlog of entries to process, and absolutely no stressful emergency tasks that send the whole department into a panic. It's just smooth, predictable, and totally under control.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, how does the system make this continuous approach happen? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is smart automation. Let's take a look at what the system is actually doing for you behind the scenes, without you having to lift a finger. First up, the balance sheet transfer. It's simple, really. The system just automatically takes all your balance sheet accounts, your assets, your liabilities, your equity, and carries their final balances over to become the opening balances for the new year. It's a perfect, seamless continuation of your financial story.
Next up is your P&L, your profit and loss statement. Hinawi ERP automatically closes out every single one of your revenue and expense accounts. Poof! Their balances are reset to zero, giving your income statement a completely clean slate on day one of the new fiscal year.
And here's where it all comes together so beautifully. The system takes that final number for the year, your net profit or loss, and with one single automatic entry, it transfers it to your retained earnings account. Just like that, the entire year's performance is neatly tucked away right where it belongs in your company's equity.
Now, this is a really important point. The system handles all the mechanical parts of closing the books, but you, the financial manager, keep full strategic control. Any decisions about what to do with those profits, say distributing them to shareholders or moving them into a reserve fund, that's all handled by you with separate entries in the new year when you're ready.
And to make sure all that careful work stays protected, there's the vital security feature. Once you're completely satisfied, you set what's called a closing date. This essentially puts a digital lock on the previous fiscal year. No one can post new transactions, no one can make changes. It guarantees that your historical data is safe and your audited financials stay exactly as they should be.
Now, just because the system is doing all this heavy lifting, does that mean the financial manager's job is obsolete? Absolutely not. Instead, your role shifts away from tedious data entry and towards what it was always meant to be, high-level, professional oversight. So let's run through a quick pre-closing checklist to make sure everything's perfect.
Think of this as your final professional review. First, you'll make sure every last transaction and batch is posted. Second, you confirm all your provisions are recorded. Third, and this is a big one, you run the deficiencies report to let the system flag any incomplete items for you. Fourth, you give the key financial statements a final once-over. And last, you reconcile your detailed reports, like fixed assets and inventory, against their master accounts in the general ledger.
And you're not doing this alone. The system actually helps you with that review. The reports have this really clever feature where they'll automatically highlight any weird balances,
Like, for example, if an account that's supposed to have a debit balance is suddenly showing a credit. It makes finding potential errors incredibly fast.
So, you followed this continuous process all year. You've done your final professional check. What's the end result? Well, it all comes down to two things: rock-solid accuracy and that elusive peace of mind. And let's be crystal clear about this. The ultimate responsibility for the accuracy of the financial statements, that still sits squarely with the financial manager. That professional sign-off is irreplaceable. But what Hinawi ERP does is give you this incredible toolkit of automations, alerts, and checks to make sure you can meet that responsibility with total confidence and without all the stress.
So to wrap it all up, the year-end in Hinawi isn't some complex, scary procedure. It's just the natural endpoint of a year of good, consistent work. It's a smooth process that gives you reliable results. You know what that means? It means your annual audit just got a whole lot easier for everybody involved. The bottom line is simple: no pressure and no headache.
And so we'll leave you with this final thought. When you take away the stress, the late nights, and the nagging uncertainty from your year-end process, you get a whole lot back. You get back time, you get back energy, and you get back mental clarity. So the real question is, what are you going to do with all that newfound peace of mind?